football match of the season. Well, Dublin and Kildare return today in their effort for a place in the All-Ireland semi-final against Galway. Now, here to enjoy the action and to give us their views this afternoon, our panel, the duo of Pat Spillane and Colin O'Rourke. We'll talk to our guests later on. But now for a look at how the teams line up. Remember, there was another on the Dublin team. Well, that has been filled. We join Ger Canning in Croke Park for news of that.
Yes, as Dublin come out here now to a tumultuous welcome. Declan Darcy there, he's in the subs. The another you speak about, Michael, is going to be Vinnie Murphy. I believe Ian Robertson may have had an injection this morning just to test out the leg, but he wasn't up to sufficient fitness, and they have decided to play without him. It's a great disappointment for Ian himself, but Vinnie is the man who takes his place there alongside Kieran Whelan as the Dubs go for their photograph just down here in front of us. The ground's still filling up. We understand it has been a sellout crowd, but they're a bit late in getting in here. There wasn't any minor match. Hill 16 is filled with Dublin fans in the main as we take a check on the teams. And Dublin make just one change to their starting 15 by comparison with the side that began the drawn encounter. However, Tom Carr and his selectors are able to nominate the same backline, marshalled superbly by Paddy Christie, and with a very effective half-back line of Curran, McGee and Andrews. The midfield looks settled. Brian Steins was man of the match 2 weeks ago, while Kieran Whelan was just back from injury. The one change is occasioned by Ian Robertson's misfortune. He was injured in the very first minute when the teams met just 2 weeks ago. Vinnie Murphy is the replacement, and Dublin today expecting big things from Jason Sherlock, and a greater input from Desi Farrell and Jim Gavin. Kildare come out, and listen to the cheer, the welcome they're getting. Champions of Leinster, of course, back just 2 years ago in 1998. And the Lily Whites coming across here to have the photographs taken. Glenn Ryan down there in the centre, the team captain, of course. And it's a pretty experienced team that they've got in action this afternoon. There's Glenn Ryan, and right across the line. And they expect big things from the likes of Dermot Early and so on. There's Christy Byrne, both goalkeepers today, members of the Byrne clan. Christy for Kildare, and Davy, of course, for Dublin. Well, Mick O'Dwyer is able to call it all bar Niall Buckley for today's showdown. The selectors have opted for continuity right throughout the defence. There's experience. It's Glenn Ryan's 27th championship match, Anthony Rainbow's 26th. Martin Lynch and William McCreary are paired in midfield. Well, that's the official line. What happens, we'll have to wait and see. Today, the Lily Whites are looking for an improved showing from Eddie McCormack, a bit more accuracy in front of the post from Dermot Early, and another fruitful afternoon for Porrick Brennan and Tadhg Fennin. He came close to winning it for Mick O'Dwyer, of course, just 13 days ago. It's his 25th championship match in charge of Kildare, and here comes Tom Carr, of course. Great player that he was for Dublin in the past, and hoping today to see them back with the Leinster trophy for the first time since 1995. Having a word there with Kieran Whelan. And the extra couple of weeks of training will have done Kieran an awful lot of good. I'm sure he's going to be very, very sharp. Likewise, Jason Sherlock of Na Fianna. And the Fianna will have fans everywhere and anywhere supporting their players this afternoon. There's Ian Robertson sitting down there, Noel McCaffrey rather than the team doctor on his right-hand side. But mention of the Fianna, Kieran Gilligan and Lisa Fagan are watching this match in McGann's Pub, I'm told, in Cape Cod. Good luck to all of you. And once again, Miko. And there's a player I'm sure he'd love to have had at his disposal, but the ex-Leitrim man, of course, now playing in the Dublin colours. I was told by John O'Leary he could play perhaps for 15 to 20 minutes. And, of course, he gives them options as a free taker as well. As of right now, the designated free taker for Dublin is going to be Vinnie Murphy. That's the story from the dressing room. There's Tadhg Fennin there, the corner forward for Kildare this afternoon. I suppose unlucky not to get that winning point right at the very end. Today playing in his 5th championship match. And there's Vinnie Murphy. He's been with Dublin but for a spell when he was down in Kerry more or less throughout the 90s. He's back. Can he be their hero and their star? Well, free taking is going to be so important. John Doyle was hitting that one towards the goal area, the centre half forward from Alan Wood. There's Paul Curran today playing in his 41st championship match. Made his championship debut against Kildare 11 years ago, and today he is looking for his 6th Leinster championship medal. So that is the setting, that's the scene.
We're going to take a short break now, but stay with us.
So I stick with Kildare because I think the likes of Martin Lynch and Willie McCreary and Dermot Earley have a greater capacity to influence this game than they did in the drawn match.
Pat, how do you see it?
I see it the same way. I went for Kildare in the draw, and I see no reason for change. I think there's great. I think Dublin played to their potential the last day. I think Kildare to triumph, and what will be again a repeat, I think, of the draw match. Will be tough, tight, exciting, and hopefully as entertaining.
And yet, Colin, Dublin could have won that match the last day. They had the chances at the end.
They had the chances, and it was the most unusual thing for Kildare, I'd say, because as long as I can ever remember, Kildare never drew with Dublin when they were the worst side on the day, and that must be a huge psychological advantage for them going into this game. Maybe Dublin have this greater physical strength, and they'll be able to bring that to bear. The pitch will be a bit bigger today. It should suit Kildare's style as well.
Okay, gentlemen, thank you for that. Let's see what happens. Let's go back again to Ger.
Thank you indeed, Michael. Welcome back to Croke Park, and we've had a helicopter overhead here, a Garda helicopter, monitoring the traffic congestion outside, no doubt about it. It's a little unusual, I suppose, to play a major match on a Saturday, what with the busy shopping and so on in Dublin city centre, and we understand that Estual carriageway has been pretty well blocked for the last couple of hours with very heavy traffic. Pat McEnany, however, I'm sure wants to get the game underway exactly at 3:30, just a couple of minutes away as Kildare go into their huddle. Tony Davis is alongside me here. Tony, your thoughts?
I agree with the lads 100%. I think the Kildare midfield, Martin Lynch, William McCreary and Dermot Earley will definitely contribute more than they did the last day. Kildare contributed themselves to their own downfall by dropping the ball into the goalkeeper's hands, and that set up Paul Curran coming forward, which meant that William McCreary psychologically had to mark Paul Curran coming forward, so that took William McCreary out of it. I think Dermot Earley is a better man at wing forward as well. Physically he's too small for midfield, and he's a better man coming in and winning the ball, so they're better off starting with their William McCreary and Martin Lynch midfield.
Straight away, some changes for Dublin in their forward line. Their inside forward line reads Desi Farrell, top of the right, Jason Sherlock, full forward, and Vinnie Murphy, top of the left. Colin Moran, not to his pals, as Colley has gone out onto the 40. Pat McEnany waiting. The band making its way off. The mentors have done their job. Now it's down to 15 against 15. Tom Carr, now the Dublin manager. People will feel they were very unlucky the last day. People will wonder, I suppose, also whether they have left it behind them. Hard to say who were the favourites, however. Close to 3:30. The Leinster final gets going once again. This time it's the replay. William McCreary, Kildare, who won the toss, playing into the goal away to our right. That's at the canal end. Brian Stein's appealing that it should be Dublin's possession. William McCreary with a puzzled look on his face. Seamus Pryor is the linesman over there. Every decision so vital at this level of competition. Kildare win it. Nicely taken away by Brian Lacey. People were wondering why Brian Lacey perhaps wasn't brought out onto the 40 the last time to pick up Jason Sherlock. This was Lacey. Coming across him there was the midfielder Kieran Whelan.
At this moment, Jason Sherlock and Vinnie Murphy are in the full forward line. They're trying to isolate Vinnie or Jason in there.
Pumped in long beyond Davy Byrne, however, and beyond everybody else as well. So it's going to be a kick out for Dublin and for Davy Byrne. Mick O'Dwyer patrolling the sideline over there. Former Kerry trainer, come coach, come manager, come everything. McCreary in midfield alongside Martin Lynch, even though there was speculation he might switch. That's taken down by Pater Andrews. Had a terrific match 2 weeks ago. No foul, the referee determines. Eddie McCormick was putting in the challenge, but now there is. Free to Kildare. Plenty of players making themselves available for John Finn to hit it through to. Towards Porrick Brennan this time. Nicely inside to McCreary. Here's a scoring check. Willie McCreary from Clane getting the opening point of the match after 2 minutes of play. A man who shows a wonderful attitude towards the game and a great appetite for hard work as well. And there he was, freed up to score, and he did. Lynch against Kieran Whelan in midfield. McCreary against Brian Steins. Brian, who was man of the match last time around. That's Jim Gavin getting it back to Pater Andrews. Here comes Whelan. Into centre to Jonathan or Johnny McGee. Beautifully cut out by Glenn Ryan. Big cheer from the Kildare following. Played away downfield towards Ronan Sweeney. Out for it first, however, was Paddy Christie. Here comes Brian Steins. Lovely ball across. Paul Curran. John Doyle's chasing after it. Dermot Early trying to get in a telling challenge. Good pace. Good possession, however. Early doing really well. John Doyle into the corner towards Ty Fennan. Pushed from the... Well, there was a foul on the man who played the ball through and a free from where the ball landed. Jonathan McGee is the one who's going to get the yellow card. So the first card of the match coming.
Our Porrick Brennan on the inside, and Dublin think their strength is with J.O. inside in the full forward line, and Dublin think their strength is with J.O. inside in the full forward line, and what they're trying to do is isolate Jason in there and Brennan and Tyke Fennan.
This free is up towards Tyke Fennan. Here he comes, showing a clean pair of heels, as they say, and that is off Davy Byrne, very near the end line, back over the end line. It will be a 45. Coleman Goggins was there remonstrating with the umpire, but there was no real doubt about it. It was hit in here by Tyke Fennan from Castle Mitchell. Davy Byrne let it slip through his hands, and there was little the cornerback could do about it. Goggins, incidentally, his dad comes from County Roscommon, from Strokestown. It's going to be John Finn who will hit this one. Litmus out of football, but that's always going left. Well, a scoring chance for Kildare. And Micko will be displeased with that. Last time around it was Dublin who were very unhappy about their free taking. Kildare have a 1-point advantage. Just looking at the Kildare full back line right now, incidentally, because J.O. has gone in to full forward, it's Ken Doyle who's marking him at full back. This is taken down by Paul Curran. Laid off here to Brian Steins. Inside towards Desi Farrell. Bringing Brian Lacey out of position. Good pace by Dublin here, trying to set something up. Back for Jim Gavin it comes. Players are firing it high, but he's fired it to the left of that left-hand post. Well, he missed a bit of training over the past couple of weeks because of work commitments. Still, he's normally a very, very sharp player. In the draw match, he got just 1 point at the very first point of the game. Well, Dublin's tactic by playing Vinnie Murphy at top of the left has been to bring Ronan Quinn out of position from his usual full-back spot. That's fisted down by Curran. Players calling for it. Senan Connell back to Curran once again. Trying to play the ball through frantically. They try to get in an opportunity. Was it picked off the ground? Well, it doesn't matter because the chance was committed for Kieran Whelan, and the Raheny man gets his first point of the day, and that is Dublin's second. Correction, the equaliser, I should say, in the heat of the moment. Well, in fact, he did get his toe behind it, and it is Kieran Whelan who puts the ball over the bar, and the teams, of course, level. Here's Eddie McCormack. Martin Lynch. Paddy Christie does enough on that to get it away from his man. Comes back to Senan Connell once again. That's a bad ball, straight for Anthony Rainbow. Lobbed ahead beyond McCormack that time, taken by Powder Andrews, playing with a lot of confidence. Fisted out here to Jim Gavin. Dublin look for another, and look for the lead for the first time in this match. John Finn takes a bit of a dive that time, over the legs of Collie Moran. Great catch there by Paddy Christie. And Christie is a very dominant and determined full-back for Dublin. Free kick out as far as Brian Steins. Bad ball, straight to Glenn Ryan. Knocked ahead towards Fóric Brennan, little tangle of legs. Goggins getting it out here as far as Steins. John Finn and Ronan Quinn trying to hold on to it. In the end, it's taken by Brian Lacey. Willie McCreary, very strongly built fellow. Just doing enough on that one, but only as far as Brian Steins once again. Senan Connell can't hold it. Rainbow feeding it ahead. John Doyle. An enterprising ball over towards Tyke Fennan. Fennan against Shane Ryan. Moving through with determination, and in the end he's fouled, and it's going to be a free-in for Kildare. Pat McEnany making the decisions. Coming across was Senan Connell there. He was in with Shane Ryan. In the end they denied Tyke Fennan. And the free will be taken by Fóric Brennan, or will it be John Doyle? Well, it's going to be John Doyle to take this one. It favours the right-footed kicker from that side, and he's a confident enough free taker. Nicely done. So Kildare go back into the lead again by 2 points to 1.
Players like Tyke Finnan are a nightmare to mark because they make up your mind. They run straight at you, and you have a choice. You can either tackle them, not trying to foul them, put them off their shot, or they give you no choice sometimes but to foul them and pull them down. And he's causing all sorts of trouble in there with his foul against the Dublin.
Well, perhaps it's in the past that Kildare have lacked players of that quality with the incisiveness to go right through the opposing defence. Here comes Paul Curran. Paddy Christie. Going very long indeed, down towards Desi Farrell, top of the right, and Brian Lacey is restraining him, or is it the other way around? Well, the decision for short tugging has gone Brian Lacey's way, and against Desi Farrell. This is it again. 6 of one, half dozen of the other. Kildare get the decision this time. They go short towards Martin Lynch, but he fumbles. Still the last one to touch it was a dub. Brian Steins, I think, the last man to just get a finger to that one. Pressure back on the Kildare backline. Desi Farrell, Willie McCreary trying to close him down. Played back here well towards Collie Moran. Poor kick by Senan Connell, high up into the air. Jason Sherlock is after it. Willie McCreary back in the corner, about to be challenged by Jim Gavin. Kildare work it out, and in the end work themselves a free. And that's the 6th free kick they've been awarded in the match so far.
That's everything Kildare do well, Ger. They defend so well. There was 10 players behind the ball that time. They have a tendency at times to foul in that position, but that was terrific defending.
Brian Lacey, the man who gets a lot of the credit there. Now Martin Lynch. Here's Anthony Rainbow. Fired ahead by Glenn Ryan. Ronan Sweeney taking Paddy Christie out of position. Oh, he was looking for support and he gave it away. It was gifted to Coleman Goggins, taking the return pass. Goggins fouled by Porrick Brennan. Free to Dublin. Gavin pumps it in there. Inside towards Desi Farrell. Against Lacey. Support available to him if he needs it. He doesn't, and he puts it over the bar. Good point. Desi Farrell's first. And it's level once again. So for the second time in this match, the teams have drawn level. And this a credit to Desi Farrell's. Rainbow trying to get that ball up, so too is his immediate Dublin opponent, who is Senan Connell from Na Fianna. Substituted in the last match, of course. And I think Na Fianna's victory in Dublin last year has done an awful lot for so many of the Na Fianna players. Reached the All-Ireland final. Rainbow kicking it in here, fumble by Glenn Ryan. Driven down towards Vinnie Murphy. Well, doesn't quite have the pace of yesteryear, as it were. They still did enough on that. And for the push, it's a free. And the referee is going in here, and he is going to award the free much closer into goal. This is going to be on the 13-metre line, and Ken Doyle, I think, is the one who has been indicted by the referee. So the free-taking duties entrusted to Vinnie Murphy, as Ken Doyle has his number recorded. This to put Dublin ahead. It's an easy one. Vinnie Murphy's first pointed free, delighting Hill 16. And the Dublin fans all over Croke Park today. A match that's attracting an attendance of about 50,000 people. Well, that was the easiest free, I suppose, that Vinnie could possibly have got from just 13 metres out. But they all count. Collie Moran. And this time the race is won by Ronan Quinn. He certainly looked faster off the blocks that time than Vinnie Murphy. That's Ronan Sweeney. John Finn. Oof. He puts his hands to his head straight away. He never looked confident kicking that one. It's a very poor kick, and Miko is quite infuriated by that. Dublin get possession back. Down towards Jason Sherlock, still in the inside forward position, still at full forward. Brian Lacey in the corner to Willie McCreary, one of the point scorers so far. Now Porrick Brennan, young Army cadet. Conor Andrews trying to dispossess Eddie McCormack. It reaches McCreary. Steins is never more than a foot or so away. And the decision goes Dublin's way.
That's a great battle there between those two. As well, Brian Lacey and
Brian Lacey
and Desi Farrell having a great battle inside, because